For all the entrepreneurs in the audience that have pitched many times to venture capitalists, you're going to watch a bunch of venture capitalists pitch to you. So the tables are truly turned here today. And we have a number of judges who are going to give these venture capitalists feedback. These judges run funds and fund of funds themselves. So the tables are truly turned here today. Why are we doing this and what's going on? So again, my name is Rlc. I'm CEO of the Founder Institute. And I've been looking and studying venture capital basically my whole career. I've been an entrepreneur for 26 years. I've raised tens of millions of dollars of venture capital. I've actually started a venture capital review firm called The Funded. And then most recently, we started a program called VC Lab. And the goal is to launch 1,000 new venture funds over the next 5 years. And you may wonder and say, well, why would you do that? Well, for anyone who's pitched venture capitalists or worked with venture capitalists, one thing is very apparent. First, it's a largely male-dominated world with very little diversity. Second, it's highly concentrated in areas like Silicon Valley or Berlin. And when you go to places like the Nordics or other regions of the world, worse like Africa, the number of venture capitalists really drops off a cliff. So if you're an entrepreneur in those regions, you're facing a lot of problems. So we decided at the Founder Institute to fix that. We want to create not only new venture capital firms, but we want to create venture capital firms that are run by women, that are run by gay men, that are run in Africa, that are run in Central Asia, the Nordics, and all around the world, and give entrepreneurs of all different backgrounds, all different interests, a real chance to raise capital and build the business of their dreams. So the VC Lab program, which is essentially a venture capital accelerator, has an oath called the Mensarius Oath. And Mensarius is a word for finance or banker in Latin. And it's based on the Hippocratic Oath. Every partner that enrolls in VC Lab is asked to agree to the Mensarius Oath, which is an ethical code of conduct that we want to see become pervasive in venture capital, where we know that the new breed of venture capitalists launching all around the world care about the future of humanity, take the rights and basic premises of good behavior seriously, so they treat people fairly, and they're really trying to use their position of power to make the world a better place. And so without further ado, I'm very excited to welcome a couple judges to the stage, and then a few aspiring venture capitalists, and let's see how they're going to change the world and make it a more beautiful place. So starting with someone I've known for quite some time, Shelley. Shelley's a successful advocate for women. I think we first encountered each other at the State Department in the United States. She's now the founder and managing partner for Beyond the Billion and $1 Billion Fund for Women. And I'm so honored to be here with you, Shelley. I hope we can find some really amazing women general partners to launch funds. Do you want to add anything to your introduction?
Yeah, great to reconnect with you, Adeo, after all these years. Really appreciate the invitation to participate, and excited to be meeting all these new aspiring or actual venture capitalists as they build their diverse teams.
Thank you, Shelley. So excited. Next, we're also joined by Bartek Semsanowic. Has a finance and M&A background and is currently the investment director at PFR Ventures. He's normally out of Poland. Hi there, Bartek. Do you want to add any words about your background?
Hello. I would say that what I'm currently focusing on in my role is we are looking for experienced fund managers, experienced GPs who would like to also consider Poland's and our venture capital ecosystem in their investment strategy. So I'm very happy and excited to be here. Maybe we will invite some of you to join our portfolio.
That's the goal. So we're going to have the whole pitch competition of general partners run by a dear friend of mine and coworker, Mike Supervici. Mike, do you want to just introduce yourself, and then let's turn it over to the general partners to talk about their funds.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Supervici. I am the Managing Director of Portfolio Success at the Foundry Institute, and I also co-lead the VC Lab initiative together with Adeo Resi. What you're about to see here today are 6 funds. They're each going to pitch their fund for about a minute or so, and then the judges will then provide them with feedback. The first fund that's up on deck is going to be Brussels Sprouts Ventures. So Brussels Sprouts, you're on.
Hi, everybody. My name is Julian Nachtigall, and I'm the Managing Director of Brussels Sprout Ventures. Brussels Sprout Ventures is based in San Francisco and is a $15 million seed fund investing in US and European food tech startups, building what our planet needed yesterday, a sustainable food system, by focusing on alternative proteins, ethical food logistics, and ag tech. We leverage our partners' 10 years of logistics and operations experience and investing experience with food tech startups such as Good Eggs, backed by top-tier VCs and having a 55.5% IRR. We have 2 core value adds: our decade of experience in food tech with particular expertise in operations and logistics during the critical early stages of scaling, and 2, our global network in the food industry, including leading incubators and founders around the world. So again, I'm Julian Nachtigall, the Managing Director of Brussels Sprout Ventures, and you can find me in the deal room. Thank you very much.
I'm going to take this one first, judges, just because, Julian, I'm such a fan of what you're doing. I think food is mission critical to the future of humanity. There's massive packaging waste and other things. Some constructive criticism that I would give you is, we all know food is important. We understand what you're talking about on a high level. And I know I've known you, and you have a big heart and want to make the world a better place. But I didn't really hear the connection about the ways that you're going to take some of your investment dollars and turn that into good causes. For example, reducing packaging, getting a little bit more specific about that. I do think you did a great job selling your background, however, and making me believe that you can do it. But I just would like a little more detail on the big picture on how you're going to do it. Even just one tangible example would have really helped. And I forgot to mention that there's a $10,000 prize for the winning fund manager. That's why I also gave you feedback, Julian, no offense. And if anyone's interested in meeting people like Julian, connect with them in the Deal Room platform. Mike, I'll turn it back over to you.
Perfect. All right. So the next fund up on deck is going to be Pirofi.
Hey, folks. I'm Luba Lasiva, and I'm launching Pyrify VC. Pyrify is an early-stage $20 million fund that will invest in startups building anti-fragile and resilient solutions to global problems, including distributed data processing, distributed energy generation and storage, distributed trust, and distributed closed-loop manufacturing. The fund will leverage my ability to grow portfolio companies by closing subsequent rounds, based on my extensive experience raising over $1.2 billion for tech startups, ranging from Series A to Series K. Yes, the alphabet runs that far, and investing a further $200 million into tech startups and VC funds. Once again, I'm Ljubilasiva, and I'm launching Pyrify VC. You can find me in the deal room or on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Shelley?
Yeah, happy to take it. Well, congratulations and exciting opportunities that you're presenting there broadly and high. I would repeat that Adeo's feedback earlier about give us a couple of specific examples. We understand that the markets you're going after are large and significant. Also, give us a sense of that size. So give us a sense of an example and whatever. Most importantly, however, and that when we look at the VCs that we represent and that represent us and that we connect to, we want to know about the team. And you continue to refer to yourself as I. Is it only you, or is there a team there? And without recognizing that 1 minute is almost no time to tell us about the team, but at least give us a feeling for the fact that it's more than about you. That there's a team behind you to, help you tackle this huge opportunity.
Great. Thank you for the feedback. Next up on deck is going to be Epic. Epic.
Hi guys, I'm Eliana from Epic, aka Exponential Positive Impact Capital. We are launching a $10 million seed sidecar fund to invest in European and Asian impact-driven companies. We use revenue-based financing to lower the risk for investors while achieving market-leading returns and positive impact. Epic has a unique focus. We fund high-margin, impact-driven ventures that are already at revenue using a revenue-based financing structure. And we do this in collaboration with our own crowdfunding platform. We already have traction, which proves our model, and we bring high-quality deal flow and specialist expertise through our relationships with global and values-aligned communities. The team is diverse and international with complementary skill sets. We're experienced, well-connected angel investors, entrepreneurs, and venture builders with over 50 investments made between us to date. As you may know, purposeful companies are currently outperforming the market by 42%. For us, it's a no-brainer, especially now. Will you join us? Again, I'm Eliana. You can find me in Deal Room, and I represent Epic, Exponential Positive Impact Capital.
Great. Thank you so much. Bartek, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Any feedback, any advice?
Well, I would like to hear what is the, let's say, main advantage that differentiates you from the competition, right? That would be nice to hear.
Yeah, so for example, you brought up that you had this crowdfunding platform and that was important, but maybe you didn't give us any, and it already existed, which was proof of concept, but maybe elaborating a little bit further on what that means. Is it live? How many deals went through it? How much crowdfunding did you get?
Awesome. Great. Next up on deck is going to be Add-in Ventures.
Thanks, Mike. And hello, everybody. I'm Jatin Rajput, and I'm launching Add-in Ventures. It's a $15 million seed fund, fintech seed fund in New York City to exclusively back diverse founders, supporting upward mobility and harnessing financial innovation for sustainable development. I bring over 2 decades of operating experience in global finance, combining that with investing in fintechs to harness finance for good. My investment philosophy is inspired by my own personal experiences where access to finance enabled access to opportunities. To prove to myself that both impact and returns can be achieved, I incubated a fintech in skills development and exited at 10x+. I'm a hands-on investor. I have deep knowledge of building financial services business. My venture partner was one of the first to launch a female founders in fintech and insurtech program. We've identified 5 to 10 high impact investments. I have, through my career, bought and sold almost 50+ companies, and I can work founders with raising follow-on financing and creating exit opportunities. Join me in building the next generation of fintechs that can create a more equal and sustainable society. Once again, Jatin Rajput, Add-in Ventures. You can find me in the Deal Room. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much. Adeo, what are your thoughts on this one?
I like it. So, I know you, Jutin. So it's, you have this really, really impressive background. And I think we got hints of what it was because of the 50 transactions you've been involved in, the fact that you helped that company get off the ground with the 10X. But I might, that's really what you've got two things going for you, which you hinted at in the presentation. One, that you really care about diversity and financial inclusion, and two, your background. But I felt like those two things were not really united in the pitch. And, for example, a personal anecdote about yourself might really help. So, and I don't know if what your racial or ethnic background is, but let's say, I, as this type of person, struggled to break through in financial services. And then I did, and I achieved all this success, and I was able to help all these people. And now I want to give back and really help the next generation of entrepreneurs building services for people like me who look like me to be successful. And I think that would have really just created a lot more opportunity for the audience to relate to what you're trying to do. But overall, I think it's great. So this is like constructive criticism with a thumbs up.
And I like the fact that you could add that it's not about concessionary capital. You could do all of what you just said, impact, diversity, et cetera, without it being concessionary, given your returns that you've achieved.
Great. Next up on deck is going to be Rlc Ventures.
Hello. Hi, thanks for the opportunity for pitching this evening. My name is Reece Chowdhury. I'm the founding partner of Rlc Ventures. There's 3 partners in our team. We're an early stage emerging technology VC based in London. Over the last 10 years, I've been a founder, operator, and investor, and I have invested in around 54 companies. In the process, I've become one of the top 15 angel investors in the UK, according to Crunchbase. We're launching a £40 million early stage UK fund called 6X, which builds on our early stage thesis that we've been implementing for the last few years. Our last exit was a 38X return, and we returned our first micro fund. The 6X fund is built on 3 core principles. One is that founders represent the single largest factor. Founders' personalities have the single largest predictor of positive outcome. With this in mind, we've developed an in-house personality tool, systematically profiling founders' personality and removing bias. We call this 6X. Secondly, we have a high level of portfolio diversification, which we think is prevalent to having outsized returns. So we tend to back 60 companies in the 6X fund. Thirdly, we think that speed is extremely important, and we've streamlined our investment process. We've evaluated a number of founders, and their thinking is speed is one of the top 3 factors when selecting a VC, above VC's network and in their brand. Historically and going forward, we look to issue a term sheet within 6 days. In summary, the 6X fund will pragmatically select founders, invest in 60 companies, and also we commit to giving a percentage of our carry to causes of our founders' choice, which are charitable. Thank you.
All right. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this one?
I thought that was a great presentation. Very clear, very energetic, very differentiated, with the one caveat that I always look for, which is how diverse is your team? You mentioned 3 people. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they look like, if they're exactly like you and their background, or, have not only different backgrounds, but also, different personality characteristics. So since you said personality matters, that's what, show us, share with us their personalities and how that's going to drive your success. But otherwise, I thought it was an excellent, framing of what you're going to do and how you're differentiated, and the experience you bring to it that will make us believe that that's doable. Very impressive.
And me personally, I liked that you outlined really well your track record, and from the perspective of an LP, that's very important. Of course, everything else also matters, but we are also looking from the perspective of potential returns. That's why this is also good to outline this topic.
Great. And the last fund for today is going to be Future Proof.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Davis with Future Proof. And Future Proof is launching a $20 million seed fund in the southeastern United States, focused on U.S. startups addressing supply chain sustainability issues for our network of 15 multinational corporations. And we help startups refine their go-to-market strategies and work with the corporations to run paid revenue-generating pilots and pursue acquisition. The corporations in our network providing use cases include the Coca-Cola Company, E&J Gallo, the winemakers, and Georgia Pacific. I have a corporate R&D and innovation background, and I've also been working the past few years in capital access for women. My business partner of the last 6 years is Shane Reeser. He has worked at a number of venture-backed startups, ran ops for Startup Weekend when they scaled globally, and was the founder of Startup Genome.
All right. Shelly, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, I love your thesis because it's clearly huge. It's become an even bigger issue than it ever was, which is, the sustainability, obviously, of supply chains. And I like the fact that you also introduced your founder as well as yourself to help us understand how you each, bring something to the table. That said, I think, some of the comments that you heard earlier to others about giving us examples of what are we talking about here? What do you mean, securing, creating secure supply chains? We know it's a huge problem. How are you actually solving it, other than asserting that you will? So if you could convince me that, you've really got the differentiated, at least strategies, if not actual execution ready yet to do that, I would be deeply interested. We know it's going to be a huge area. It's already a huge area. And the fact that you've got the 15 corporates already as clients, that's also huge.
I'm just looking to see if there's any other hands. All right, great. And with that, we're done with the pitch competition for today. That's awesome.
Can I talk about how we're judging, Mike? Do you mind if I? Awesome. All right. So all the judges were asked to score the participants. We don't need the scores, but if you're interested, 1 is like not very good. We never do 3s on a 5 scale, by the way. 2 is interesting, but not a fit for me. 4 is like, I'm interested and wanting to learn more. And 5 is, I'm definitely going to invest. So I can tell you, I have a number of 4s and 5s. So I have only imagined that the judges have 4s and 5s. What we're going to do is each read our top 3. And, I can tell you right now, I'm going to have a hard time with this one. And then we'll see who's got overlap with whom. Who wants to go first?
Dea, you gave us a different scoring system, so I need to recalibrate here.
Well, all right, score however you want. Who are your top 3? I thought that was a scoring system, but
okay, all right, okay, we can fix it.
Shelly, who's your top 3 funds out of the 6 that pitched? Do you have 3 that you like the most?
Yeah, I like. I will say RLC, Epic, and Future Proof.
Bartek?
Yeah, my top 3 is RLC, Arctic15 Ventures, and Future Proof.
My top 3 are, well, they called themselves 6X, but RLC, Brussels Sprouts, and Future Proof. So, Mike, it looks like RLC and Future Proof pretty much made the top for everybody. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. Everybody had a vote for both RLC and for Future Proof.
Well, that's good. I expected there would be a tie. is there any, maybe I'll go first. The good news is that the funds were all good enough that there is a tie. The bad news is there is a tie. I'm going to just throw out, for me, I liked RLC a twinge more than Future Proof, just because, he went a little bit more into his background. He didn't go through the diversity of the team. Maybe we could ask Future Proof and RLC any questions that we have. Shelley, I believe you brought up that you didn't know who his team members were. Do you want to quickly answer that question for Shelley?
Well, I've already included him in my top 3, so.
Well, do you have a pick of which one you like more out of RLC or Future Proof, Shelley?
Yeah, I would agree that RLC in the presentation, I think Future Proof has vast potential, but I would agree that RLC had a slightly better presentation. But I'm happy to hear about your other founders, because that would make me happy to hear who else you have on board.
RLC, do you want to go? 6X?
Hi, yeah. So in terms of the other founders of the partnership, well, one of them, what we have in RLC is like we believe in like bringing people up from very different backgrounds. So, for example, one of the partners didn't go to university, and we took them up, and actually we had them as an entrepreneur in residence for a long time. They became a partner of the firm. So very kind of different thinking to us. And then the other partner is actually my father, who I actually employed. And so we have very, very different ways of thinking. And so that's the 3 of us essentially. And yeah, the way we kind of built the partnership and go forward is we used the personality profiling tool on all the founders and our team. So we have very different ways of thinking, and that's one of the core theses and values of our firm.
Okay, father and son team, that's a little wild card in the 11th
Well,
hour.
I like the fact that it's multi-generational, Adeo, as someone who's got a co-founder who's a millennial, and I'm a grandma, so I like it. However, obviously you're going to know what I don't like about it. And that is that it's not gender diverse, and I'm not really clear on other diversity. Maybe your extended team is, but in terms of the founding team, the key people who are making the decisions around your investments and so forth, I think that's really a weakness on your, for you. And I'm just going to put it out there as my personal thought and insight into what we see in funds. We look for gender diverse teams.
What are your thoughts? And then maybe for the Future Proof team, after Bartek goes, if you want to just list your other partners as well. But Bartek, do you have thoughts on the tie?
Actually, I have a question to Carrie from Future Proof. I also liked your thesis, but I would like to hear more about investments, experience, investment background of your team.
There's no investment background per se. We are looking at partners to join us who have investment backgrounds. Our background is really helping the corporations and startups find opportunities together. So mining those use cases and providing, the mentoring and kind of situation for them to actually find traction and accelerate their success with the corporation. So.
Do you want to talk about your other partners since you have the floor?
Yeah, well, I talked about Shane already. I think the question was more around the kinds of things we would invest in. What do we mean by supply chain sustainability, or was that?
So it's just you and Shane are the team?
Yeah, we're the 2 general partners. Mm-hmm.
And you're looking to add a third, you were saying?
Not as general partners. So we are looking at other people to round out our team. We have a couple of people already. Janice Fraser is one of our venture partners. She has a background in corporate innovation and consulting, as well as a partner in Seneca Ventures. And then we have a partner who, Enrique Alvarez, who has a logistics background. He runs a big logistics firm here in Atlanta, and he's a venture partner as well.
So I'll tell you what's come out of it for me. The father-son thing, I like the intergenerational component, but I do agree with the diversity of the team. So it kind of is pushing future-proof up in my evaluation. Shelley or Bartek, do you have any further about the lack of an investment partner for future-proof? Though you seem to be addressing it with your venture partners. I'd love to hear what Shelley and Bartek have to say before.
Yeah, I really encourage you to formalize something more with not just a venture partner. Typically, venture partners are the ones who help bring the deals, not necessarily the ones who are doing the work. And it's hard for me to imagine a fund not having some kind of experience. And I would not hesitate to make that third person another general partner with you, or at least a founding partner, something formalized, because honestly, I don't know many LPs who will invest in, however great your thesis, your established relationships, corporates, et cetera, that supports your thesis, are going to go without having that on the board. In fact, track record is the number one thing you'll hear from most LPs, right? The first and foremost thing, at least.
Bartek?
From my perspective as an LP, I'm slightly more convinced with RLC, but yeah, we have a tie, so it's both teams are really close in my opinion. But if I had to pick one, I would go with RLC.
Shelley?
We only invest in gender diverse teams, and I didn't see that kind of diversity in RLC. I would have to go with Future Proof. but I have to
both. I love it. But you know what? The best part about this is that we're all kind of saying the same thing, that we care about the team, we care about diversity, we care about track record. And, you know, that's a very different thing that you're hearing from LPs today than you might have heard 5-10 years ago. 10 years ago for sure. 5 years ago,
well,
most
we're
likely.
only 2 years old. That's
well, no, but it's a beautiful thing that the world is changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it really needs to change, because there's a lot of female entrepreneurs listening here today that are probably very happy to hear the pressures that the VCs are facing to change from limited partners. So, Mike, you helped me run a VC lab. Should we allow a tie to occur? Because they're both really awesome funds.
I say we go for it. We want to try to help as many funds as possible, and we might as well just do it. Let's just go for it. Let's just get everybody in the VC lab next semester, and let's get everybody built up and ready to start funding important companies that change the world.
All right, so we can declare the pitch competition a tie. RLC and 6X Fund out of the UK, and then Future Proof out of the US. Those two are really amazing entities. Again, the prize is $10,000. As part of the VC Lab program, it includes a variety of upgrades, office hours, Mike and I, and various things that we'll send about. I want to thank so much Shelley and Bartek for your insights, guidance, and clearly caring about the future here and giving feedback to aspiring venture capitalists that are looking to get their firms off the ground now. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out and giving your feedback. Any final words for the various pitchers and aspiring VCs in the audience? Maybe we go with Bartek first.
Well, good luck. The times are very difficult, right? So I think that a bit of luck is necessary to succeed. So good luck.
I just want to add that I am so impressed. I mean, we didn't comment on the other pitchers, or I didn't at least, and I know the food space is huge, and I'd love to learn more about that. There's so many things there, and I really appreciate your focus on diversity. want to understand what kind of founders you're looking at, because we're expanding our scope to beyond gender and really want to understand that better. So each one of you has something really exciting to offer. Obviously you ladies who are, pioneering in your spaces, Luba, I think that, what we heard from you is, like, I know the tip of the iceberg. The areas that you're in are such high tech. I'd love to hear more about that. And as well as you, Eliane, I had you down as Epic, definitely would be happy to have another conversation. So I think there are gems here in all of your presentations. 1 minute is not much time to expound on what and how and your value added that you will bring to the marketplace. I have no doubt you will. And we'd love to learn more about all of you. So thank you, Adeo, for exposing us to these great emerging fund managers, and we look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, so thank you guys. And what I would say for everyone, remember, there's a deal room platform. If you'd like to meet these aspiring venture capitalists, possibly provide funding for them if you're a limited partner, pitch them if you're a founder, or maybe even join their team, because we talked about the diversity. Use the deal room platform and get in touch. And for anyone who is an investor, we're doing a private demo day for funds that are a bit further along that will be following this, and you can sign up through the deal room, the agenda and deal room platform as well. So thanks everyone for your time, and this was really lovely. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.